Hello and welcome to Know Your Representative, the program that bridges the visible gap between lawmakers and their constituents. I am Maria Olashende. Today on the show, we'll take you through the events that happened at NILDS, that's the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies. We'll take a short break. I'll be back soon. Stay with us. The task of the leaders is to get their people from where they are to where they've not been. How do we hold our leaders accountable in the business of lawmaking and representation?
The mandate that you have given to us is not abuse in any way.
The primary purpose of government is to ensure the welfare and security of the Nigerian people.
Constituency project had noble intentions and they still remain the most veritable tool.
Do they really know their representatives at the states and national assemblies?
Our people, they don't have water, they are suffering. They only drink water from where they fall.
For the current one, the 10th assembly, I don't really know who is in charge.
From the mountaintops to the deepest valleys, we're ready to go an extra mile just to show Nigerian your constituency project. Know your representative with Maria, bridging the visible gap.
National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, is set again to enhance your skills and take your legislative performance to the next level. Come aboard our capacity building training programs in May. First up, ICT application in record management for optimal legislative performance. Date, Tuesday, May 14th to Thursday, May 16th, 2024. Immerse yourself in our latest ICT tools and techniques to streamline your record management process. Then from Tuesday, May 21st to Thursday, May 23rd, 2024, it's time for our second training. Effective management and administrative structure for the legislature. Learn how to optimize your administrative process and boost your performance. Both programs are held daily at 9 a.m. at the Institute's permanent site, number 2 Abubakar O. Suleiman Avenue, Airport Road, Abuja. Secure your spot today. Payment validates attendance. Invest in our professional development and join us for these impactful training sessions. NILDS, advancing legislative and democratic institutions in Nigeria and beyond.
On Monday, April the 22nd, the Director General of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, alongside Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, Speaker House of Representatives, represented by Honorable Kingsley Chinda, the Minority Leader House of Representatives, and Vice Chancellor University of Benin, Professor Lilian Salami, during the joint matriculation ceremony for newly admitted postgraduate students of the NILDS Uniben programs and students enrolled in the Higher National Diploma HND programs of NILDS. In a speech, Professor Suleiman attributed the improved quality of academic programs of the Institute to the dedication of the leadership at the National Assembly, the University of Benin, lecturers, National University Commissions, and the National Board for Technical Education. He noted that this year's matriculation ceremony stands out in several aspects, featuring a larger number of enrollments compared to previous years. Additionally, it marks the first time foreign students have joined the program.
Today's occasion is to formally welcome our new intake into the Institute Postgraduate and HND program for the year 2023-2024 academic session. This year's matriculation ceremony is unique in many ways. First, it presents a higher number of enrollment compared to last year. Since the inception of this program, this year's enrollment, with total 180, is the highest so far since we started the program. Compared to what we had last year, which was just 107. This is a statement, or testament rather, to the increased quality of our academic programs at NILDS, which would not have been possible without the commitment of the leadership of National Assembly, the University of Benin, our resource persons, and the support from the executive through the Ministry of Education, National University Commission, and the National Board for Technical Education. Second, and for the first time, we recorded the enrollment of foreign students into our program this year. The master's degree in constitutional law and development has also just been added to our programs. We now have on our list of programs Master in Legislative Studies, Master in Elections and Party Politics, Masters in Law, LLM, Legislative Drafting, Masters in Parliamentary Administration, and the Postgraduate Diploma in Elections and Political Party Management. Lastly, the gender mix of the students admitted this year is higher than the previous years. Let me also state again for the first time that by the end of next month, precisely May this year, 5 befitting classrooms and 3 auditoriums will be ready for conducive learning here at the permanent site. In other words, this year, by next month, we are saying bye-bye to the other end there. Distinguished gentlemen, let me add that our HND and postgraduate programs are established on strong academic principles and discipline. Upon the successful completion of the program, students are awarded certificate by the University of Benin for postgraduate programs, while the Institute award the HND certificates. And as usual, in line with our tradition, best students among you today will be recognized and offer prize award at the point of graduation. To ensure that all students have an equal opportunity to excel, the Institute has invested in a number of resources. These resources include the main library, classrooms, internet access, and academic staff that include renowned consultants and practitioners. Access to this facility will even be greater when we commence full lectures at our permanent site anytime soon. The rules and regulations of the NILDS and event postgraduate programs are contained in the student handbook. Please, distinguished matriculants, familiarize yourself with this content to enable you to go through the program successfully and graduate on schedule.
On behalf of the Senate and management of the University of Benin, it is my joy to preside over yet another important academic activity of this institute. This matriculation of the 2023-2024 set of new students who were recently admitted is important because it reinforces the reality of sustainable project that has soared by leaps and bounds. I therefore start by congratulating our own dear Director General, the faculty and other staff, as well as the 176 new students who are major reasons for our gathering here today. This ceremony is also key because it is a prerequisite function for matriculants who will formally pledge their allegiance to the authorities of the Institute through subscription to the relevant matriculation oaths. The University of Benin and the Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies have made giant academic strides and have imbibed all-round excellence, resulting in a large number of students seeking admission into the university and institute yearly. We shall continue to ensure that the temple is sustained and that our students get the best in academic fulfillment and character molding, because these are vital elements expected to make our products globally competitive and marketable. As the new students settle down for serious academic work, please remember that your role is to add value to the democratic process and not to degrade it. Be worthy of this opportunity and be exemplary. As mature students, no one needs to emphasize to you that social biases are unacceptable at all levels in this institute. The management of University of Benin and NILDS remain committed to providing the right facilities and environment to help you be the best that you aspire to be. At this juncture, let me appreciate the management of the National Assembly for the sustained interests and institution support. I commend also the DG of NILDS, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, for the good work which has continued to build the confidence in all stakeholders.
The task of the leaders is to get their people from where they are to where they've not been. How do we hold our leaders accountable in the business of lawmaking and representation?
The mandate that you have given to us is not abuse in any way.
The primary purpose of government is to ensure the welfare and security of the Nigerian people.
The constituency project had noble intentions and they still remain the most veritable tool.
Do they really know their representatives at the states and national assemblies?
Our people, they don't have water, they are suffering. They only drink water from where rain fall.
For the current one, the 10th assembly, I don't really know who is in charge.
From the mountaintops to the deepest valleys, we're ready to go an extra mile just to show Nigerian your constituency project. Know your representative with Maria, bridging the visible gap. On Monday, April the 15th, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, the Director General of NILDS, the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, delivered the opening remark at the opening ceremony, the 3-day capacity building workshop for legislative aides in the National Assembly. During a speech, Professor Suleiman emphasized the importance of active participation and note-taking, highlighting the workshop's goal to enhance the aides' abilities to effectively support legislative processes and procedures. The workshop, tailored to enable participants to blend their skills and experience into the process of legislative governance, is structured into 3 categories that comprises of the foundational, intermediate, and advanced classes.
Our resource persons have been chosen, carefully chosen, and assigned to specific modules in each learning group. The methodology for this workshop includes, but not limited to, presentations, interactions, and group discussion to allow for peer learning and experience sharing among the participants. Some of the topics fashioned for this workshop include, but not limited to, parliamentary institutions and service delivery, committee system in the legislature, the lawmaking process, role of legislative aides in the budget process, budget tracking and legislative oversight, and indeed legislative processes, practices, and procedure, among others. Participants have been invited or drawn from stratified clusters to ensure that legislative aides of members of parliament from both houses are well represented by geopolitical zone and gender. Those not covered in this workshop will be scheduled for the next batch, which is coming up very, very soon. I therefore urge you to pay attention and take notes, as the workshop has been designed to ensure that you gain fresh insights on how best to support the work of your legislature and, by extension, the legislature in the country. This first batch, number 300, have been divided into clusters. I want to assure you, as I said, that our resource persons are not just theoreticians, but they are practitioners in their various fields. You are going to gain a lot. Their lectures, instructions, what they are going to put you through will assist you greatly in your task ahead under the 10th National Assembly.
To effectively discharge these functions alone, it is against this backdrop that the National Assembly management, in collaboration with the National Assembly Service Commission, NASC, recruited the legislative aides on non-pensionable positions. in addition to the permanent staff on ground, to provide the needed support services to facilitate lawmaking process, oversight function, representation of the various interests of the legislators in their respective constituencies and senatorial districts nationwide. Your enormous roles as legislative aides include, among others, conducting an in-depth research, initiate bill drafting as legislative proposal, draft motions, monitoring pending legislation, auditing media reports on legislative interests and oversight areas of your principals, as well as being vigilant on the legislator's area of interest and responsibility to evaluate the situation in his constituency and come up with a proactive legislative measures.
As you are aware, the legislature is the mainstay of any democracy. Universally, its role is to make laws, exercise representation, and conduct oversight of the executive arm through its elected representatives. Accomplishing these broad and tripartite functions is indeed a huge and overwhelming task. Legislators cannot achieve it alone unless with the support of others like you people. It is against this background we hired you to bridge this gap by offering proactive support services, thereby simplifying the legislator's job. This implies that you occupy an important place in the life of a legislature. Therefore, to be effective and efficient in your job as a legislative aide, you need to be very conversant with legislative practice and procedures. You must also have the passion for research and be a good writer with a cutting-edge attitude. Accordingly, this capacity building program is designed to equip you with the knowledge and skills you require to optimize your performance.
National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, is set again to enhance your skills and take your legislative performance to the next level. Come aboard our capacity building training programs in May. First up, ICT application in record management for optimal legislative performance. Date, Tuesday, May 14th to Thursday, May 16th, 2024. Immerse yourself in our latest ICT tools and techniques to streamline your record management process. Then from Tuesday, May 21st to Thursday, May 23rd, 2024, it's time for our second training, Effective Management and Administrative Structure for the Legislature. Learn how to optimize your administrative process and boost your performance. Both programs are held daily at 9 a.m. at the Institute's permanent site, number 2 Abubakar O. Suleiman Avenue, Airport Road, Abuja. Secure your spot today. Payment validates attendance. Invest in our professional development and join us for these impactful training sessions. NILDS, advancing legislative and democratic institutions in Nigeria and beyond.
On Tuesday, April the 23rd, Professor Abubakar Suleiman delivered the opening speech at the workshop organized by the Institute for the Sergeants at Arms and Chamber Assistants. Other paramilitary personnel from the National Assembly and various state houses of assembly in Nigeria. He highlighted in his address that the nation grapples with various forms of insecurity, including violent extremism, communal conflicts, insurgency, banditry, and kidnappings. Hence, it remains crucial to allocate resources to training the institution of the Sergeant at Arms, serving as the cornerstone of the legislature's security framework.
Engagements include collaboration with the Geneva Center for Security Sector Governance, the CAF, to strengthen the legislative framework for security sector governance in the country. Likewise, we have continued to engage paramilitary and military institutions such as the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps and the National Defense College, as well as relevant committees of National Assembly. I'm saying this because in the recent time, we have done so much in the issue of research about borders on security. We are collaborating with so many institutions on security-related area. Last year, we took about 14 of our National Assembly lawmakers to Geneva on issues of borders on security. We have courses to interact with NCDC and the various military within the War College SECO. We are here for you. The kind of capacity, the kind of knowledge, the kind of information we are going to avail you is not what we used to have in the past. We are trying to upskill the knowledge of our staff, at least to put that knowledge at the doorstep of the federal security personnel within the legislature. Our partnership with Conrad and Sitong in security sector reform is also very, very remarkable. Through our training department, we have also scaled up capacity building program for target attempts in our strategic plan. In view of the foregoing, therefore, NILDS has organized this training workshop to enhance participant understanding of the principles of parliamentary security and how to identify key requirements for managing security architecture in complex environments like the parliament. Other modules will include risk management, security assessment, and crisis response. Practical experience will also be shared on how the traditional role of the sergeant-at-arms in the legislature, which includes intelligence gathering and sharing, VIB protection, law enforcement, emergency management, chamber management, and protocol management can be enhanced. I wouldn't know whether in the course of this session, one of our staff who happened to be part of the delegation to both Geneva and the Vienna parliaments, we have opportunity to share experience with you on how their parliaments were able to protect their own. It's not what we have here in National Assembly, where everybody will just enter because I'm a constituent, I need to see Senator Lagwaja, and the senator will be moving everybody on this of Udlong, Rankadede. That is not how it works in those climes. You cannot even access the premises when you don't have your not only tag, you must even have your card with you, your biometric card with you. And at every point, they look very corporate, they look very neater, they look very organized. And there's a session every day where people from outside can come into the premises. You can bring in students. But at the point of the student or even dignitaries, even at my level, to enter, yes, you know, Suleiman is coming, who is going to receive him, who is going to guide him. Everything is well structured. I think we need to look into that seriously.
The task of the leaders is to get their people from where they are to where they've not been. How do we hold our leaders accountable in the business of lawmaking and representation?
The mandate that you have given to us is not abuse in any way.
The primary purpose of government is to ensure the welfare and security of the Nigerian people.
The constituency project had noble intentions, and they still remain the most veritable tool.
Do they really know their representatives at the states and national assemblies?
Our people, they don't have water, they are suffering. They only drink water from where rain fall.
For the current one, the 10th assembly, I don't really know who is in charge.
From the mountaintops to the deepest valleys, we're ready to go an extra mile just to show Nigerian your constituency project. Know your representative with Maria, bridging the visible gap. Thank you for being a part of the program this week. See you same time next week, God willing, as I bring you another interesting edition of the program. For missed episodes, you can catch up on our YouTube page, My Base TV. Thanks for watching. I am Maria Olashende. Goodbye and God bless Nigeria.